Parents and teachers? This is me, Seth with SethPro.com. I'm an executive function coach based out of Boulder, Colorado, and I help struggling students navigate this thing called education. And in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about ears and students who have sensitive hearing and a really cool, easy hack that you can do to help support these students. So, this one is for parents, but it's also for teachers because teachers, this is a really easy one and really cheap one you can implement in your classroom. So, what I want you to understand first is that we live in a very, very, very auditorily noisy, stimulating world nowadays. If you think about the world 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, we have never, ever, ever lived in a time when there was so much auditory stimulation. We used to live in a pretty quiet world. We could really tell what was going on in our environment. We were very attuned to very subtle changes in sound in the environment so that we could be aware of what was going on in the environment. Now we are just flooded with stimulus. And for a lot of people, myself included, and for a lot of students who struggle with executive function, particularly kids who are highly sensitive anyhow, a lot of these kids are taking on a lot of auditory information. So everybody hears the same. We're all experiencing, if you have 50 people in a room, we're all experiencing the same auditory information in that room. But I want you to imagine this. Some people in that room have very good filters built into their brain or built into their ears where they're able to filter through the things that they don't want to attend to, and they're able to focus and concentrate and sift through and filter out the things that they do want to focus on. Well, I want you to imagine that some of the people in that room do not have good filters, so to speak. And those people have all sorts of sounds coming in. And I want you to imagine the students sitting in the classroom, and they're sitting there and these noises are driving them crazy. But the problem is it's underneath the tip of the iceberg, if you know my iceberg theory. You can't look at the child and see, unless they're covering their ears, which some students will do, but certainly a middle or high school student's not going to do that, even if they feel it. They're usually just going to act like everything's okay. So anyhow, the problem is we can't just look at a kid and often see that they're struggling with this. And often they don't even know that they're having an experience that's different from anybody else, so they're not able to articulate it. But either way, I want you to imagine that some of the students in a classroom who don't have good filters, they're taking in everything, and the volume is turned up on them. So imagine that in a classroom, you have an aquarium with a filter bubbling. You have a guinea pig in the other side of the room with the guinea pig scratching the cage. You have the air conditioner of the building on with a hum. You have fluorescent lights with a hum. You have people's pencils scratching. You have people whispering. You have people scuffling papers. All of these sounds, which are perfectly normal sounds to most kids in the classroom, for certain kids in the classroom, it's going to feel very loud, very overwhelming. It can interfere with their executive function, meaning it can interfere with their ability to focus on school, on learning, on the teacher, on the things that they're trying to focus on, because there are so many other stimulus vying for their attention that they're not able to filter out. So, I've got a great hack for you. I often wear earplugs. I wear them in airports. I wear them anytime that I need to lessen the stimulation. Sometimes I'll use noise canceling headphones or what have you, but I will often use earplugs. And these earplugs are rather large. So if you look, you're supposed to lift the ear and pull back, sort of, and that will open the ear canal and you can push it in. But if you notice, that is obnoxious. It's huge. So if you wanted to give your child this and say, hey, kiddo, if school gets a little bit too stimulating or too loud or things like that, you can use these. Well, your kid's going to be like, okay, if they're young and they don't care, if they're like, a second grader, maybe they don't care and they actually think it's kind of cool and whatever. But if they're a middle schooler, they are not going to want to walk around with that. So, what I'm going to show you is how you can modify these a little bit. So, these are super inexpensive. That was so refreshing to me because it muffles the sound. You can still hear the teacher or what's going on through the ears. This will not interfere with being able to hear what's going on well enough. You can wear these to concerts, you can wear these to class, you can wear them anywhere. But what I'm suggesting to you is for kids who have heightened sensitivity, is you take these, you literally roll it up, and then you cut off the top. You just cut it right off with the scissors. You take a bag, you write their name on it with a Sharpie, and you give these to your kid. And this is the top part that I have already cut off. You'll see it's nice and flat. And this is the other part that I cut off that you're going to keep. You roll it up, and this one happens to be a lighter flesh color, but you push it in, and This was the first one that I used before a moment ago, and put that one in here, and I'll let them, they sort of expand in your ears, so you can get a whole box of them or bag of them online or at a music store, any number of places, pretty cheaply. In fact, bartenders will often have them on hand. If you're at a loud restaurant or something, you just ask them, or the wait staff if they have them. But check it out, there's the one, and it's pretty obnoxious, and it's, if they're wearing a hat it can get in the way, and but there's the other one, you can't even see it unless I turn pretty far. You can't even see it there. So that's just a really simple hack. Again, parents, all you do is you take these, you take the larger one, you cut off the top, you throw away the bottom, and you are left with a relatively invisible earplug. Give your kid a couple of these, throw them in the backpack, or teachers, you can have multiple bags of these in your classroom for kids who want them, with their own name on them, so that it's sanitary and everything. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Again, my name is Seth with SethPerlo.com. If you haven't signed up for my blog and you have a kid who struggles with executive function, every Sunday I send something out, and I have a free gift for you when you sign up in terms of a video series that'll help you understand executive function. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. I will see you soon. Take care.